Hello everyone and welcome. In the last few weeks and months, one of the most requested features for AppResponse has been its ability to decode Zoom and Microsoft Teams media streams and show call quality metrics. My name is Ishan Kapoor and I'm a tech evangelist with Riverbed, and in this video I'll be showcasing AppResponse 11's new capability as part of 11.12 release, where it can decode and detect Zoom and Microsoft Teams media streams and show call quality metrics. So let's get started with the demo and let's begin. All right, let's get started with some of the administrative stuff for interpreting Microsoft Teams and Zoom media streams. So the first thing is under administration. If you go under feature settings and then UCA module, you'll arrive at this web page, and by default the UC analysis option is checked. Typically the default checkboxes do work out for most organizations, but it's important before you start out to go in here and have a look at minimum to see if you're using any encrypted traffic, encrypted signaling, for instance, and if any keys need to be provided. This is typically good for on-premise stuff for which you have keys. Then the second most important thing here is to make sure that all the ports that are used by the various vendors, the various UC vendors, are listed here. Typically, they should work for every organization. However, in rare cases, you may have to include certain ports for Zoom and certain extra ports for Microsoft Teams. Like I said, mostly it should work out of the box, but in case you need to make changes, you can go under this page is just displaying what ports are being used. You can go under administration, general traffic settings, and traffic analysis filters, and we've provided a link here as well, and you can go and change things there. So this is all the administrative stuff. Once you're done with this, you are ready to analyze traffic. And at the moment, if we go along, I've got some Microsoft Teams traffic flowing through, and let's have, and this is the individual channels navigator view. This is the best place to examine media sessions for Microsoft Teams or Zoom. And you can get to this page by going under Navigator and under UC Analysis, picking Individual Channels HD. This is an HD view, which means every single every single media stream, every single packet that's going through has been analyzed and has been presented here. So again, depending on what time frame you're looking at, if there's way too many individual channels or media streams going through, this may become a page that has a lot of data, so it might load slowly. So keep in mind to zoom in properly into the time range, or to keep that in mind while loading this page. Let's have a quick look at what metrics I've already selected here. So you can, as always, go under the metrics, the column chooser, and select a whole host of metrics related to MOS. Particularly interesting to me is packet loss. We can actually see a lot of metrics that are being derived from the RTP packets of the conversation. At the moment, I've just picked the packet drops, the lost packets. So let's have a look at what kind of metrics we're getting. Yeah, so the most important again is some of the MOS metrics, which are the interpretation of the quality of call based on various factors, based on basically almost as if a human was listening. And there are various derivatives of MOS scores also available. Let's have a quick look at what those are. So if you go under MOS, we calculate end of call, min, max for most of these metrics, and you can look at all the MOS, the derivatives of MOS metrics that we have made available. Typically, depending on what you want to track, some of these MOS metrics may be more important, more significant than others. So it might take a while for you to figure out which ones works best for you. But once you arrive at this nice view, you can look at the calls themselves. We present a nice little chart at the bottom of exactly when the call started, when the call ended. And as well as the metrics right on top. So this is the clear example, and of course you can change the metrics here as well. So this is in fact a live view of how a Microsoft Teams media streams and sharing sessions can be decoded and presented in AppResponse. And that's not all. If you notice this little sign here, as you notice that we have some of calls which we've had rather poor MOS experience, out of the box, AppResponse actually picks up and reports if there has been a bad experience, and creates alerts and events for it. So if there are tons of bad calls running amok in your network, even out of the box, the AppResponse alerts will pick them up and warn you right on the web page, or if you configure them, you can send emails regarding them as well. So that was the Microsoft Teams. Let's move on to the next bit. So in a very similar fashion, we've now introduced some Zoom media streams into AppResponse, and you'll notice that the SSRC, which is almost like a unique identifier for the media streams, is shown as none, because apparently Zoom doesn't use SSRC as identification, so they use something else. But we show NA, which means it's most likely a Zoom stream, and anything else, for example, Teams, as I showed in the previous session, has a proper unique identifier. So you can see that this is a either a video or a screen share, and for Zoom, we are also reporting the MOS scores as well as lost packets and various other metrics that we were for Microsoft Teams. And as if I scroll down, we actually show how during the duration of the call, the MOS scores were affected, and we dot out the minimum during the time for the entire session. Similarly, here's the other stream. Let's have a look at how it was, and it turns out towards the end of the call, some of the Zoom streams are suffering really badly. And then also in similar fashion, we warn out based on our inbuilt heuristics. If a MOS score hits a certain threshold, below a certain threshold, we sent out notifications via the web UI, and you can also configure these to be sent out. We may have a video separately on how to configure these alerts or dynamically control these events. But AppResponse, even out of the box, can tell you if there are poor quality video calls or audio conversations that are happening in your network. So this was a short demo of Microsoft Teams and Zoom media streams decoding. Hope it offered you a chance to see what AppResponse can do for you. Thank you for joining me, and see you again next time. Bye-bye.